Vote yes, vote no. Maybe you're
Yeah.
unsure, put it in the chat box. Definitely let us know.
Tim, can you see the results, Jeffrey, as
Yes.
they're coming in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So it looks like most people have a strategy in place
Mm-hmm.
by far, which is great.
I know. So that means you're already a step ahead of me right now, which is great. And there's some of us, that we're still trying to get that strategy in place. I know it's the end of the year. I know it's been a wild year as well. But 79% of you have said, yes, we already have a strategy in place, Jeffrey. 21% of you said no. So definitely want to make sure that, you're looking at these results, you're like, okay, I have this strategy in place. What can I be doing more to add to this strategy? Now that you have that strategy in place, you also want to make sure, okay, I don't have that said strategy in place. What can I be doing more of to make sure I'm getting the most out of my strategy? And sorry about that background noise. There is someone working on our yard right now. I do apologize. But that's just the way we're all working. We're all working from home. So again, I do apologize for that noise if you can hear it. I am terribly sorry about that. So, one of the first things we're going to dive into is our organic social media strategies for the day. So, one of the first things you want to focus on is your organic strategy. Now, some of us are thinking, okay, Jeffrey, fine, organic, we get it. What does that actually mean? How can I really make sure that, my skate center, my bowling alley, my local business is getting the most out of my organic strategy right now? So that's what we want to focus on. And then in a little bit, we'll get into your paid advertisements, your boosted posts, things like that. But first, we got to make sure you're set up for success organically. Now, when I say, organically, we think about word of mouth. I think about when my parents in the grocery store, oh, what is Jeffrey doing now? Where is he working? Oh, he's still in Texas, things like that, because some of my parents' friends are not on social media. So they're still spreading that organic word of mouth. Now, when we're thinking about organic word of mouth on social media, there's different ways that you can make sure that you're getting your business, your product, your services in front of other consumers, but you're doing it in a non-salesy way. And I know you're probably thinking, how do we do this? How do we make sure that I'm not really spending a dime to get the most out of my local business? So these are just some ways that we can do this. You can share customer testimonials. You can add relevant hashtags to increase the discoverability of your brand. You can personalize your brand, but also you can also provide excellent social customer care, which I'm going to dive into in just a little bit. But one thing I want you to look at is Playland Skate Center. They said add these stretches before or after your skate sesh to provide to prevent soreness. So the same goes with bowling. The same goes with any kind of exercise or sport that you're going to participate in. You need to stretch. How many of us exercise? I'm not going to say daily, maybe like once or twice a week. Maybe we get out, we ride the bike, we go on a walk around the neighborhood because, what else is there really to do? But you definitely want to make sure, if you're bowling, if you're skating, if you're walking, if you're running, what have you, you're doing simple stretches. And content like this is going to put you as an expert, even more of an expert in your industry. So just some different ways that you can really make sure you're getting the most out of your social media sites. Another quick tip. How many of us, and I'm going to ask this a little bit later, and this isn't a poll question, but just let us know in the chat box, how many of us respond to our reviews? And you can say yes, you can say no, you can say, we're trying. Let us know. Let us know exactly, what you're doing with these polls. Exactly. So yes. Okay. So a good bit of you. Wow. So far, like 91% of you are saying, yes, we do respond to those reviews. Awesome. These are great. Awesome.
Oh,
Okay.
that is great.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 86% of you said, yes, we are responding to our reviews. And 14% of you said no, which is okay. Nothing wrong with that. But one thing that you want to get out of responding to reviews is you want to make sure those positive reviews are ushered over to your different social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You don't want them just to sit on these review sites. That's just them collecting dust. That's also a way that, that's money that is left on the table as well. So once you share these great customer testimonials, you can show the great things that you're doing for your local customers across your business. And Mark said, sometimes it takes us a while to respond. How do you do that? So Mark, I'm going to be honest, you don't have to respond right away. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm going to let you on a little secret. I encourage you not to respond right away. Give that review some time to breathe. Give it 24 to 48 hours. And you're thinking, but we want to respond. You know, we want to get in touch with our customers right away. That's great. But you also want to make sure that you're crafting the greatest review response possible. I'm going to dive into that in just a little bit and what that looks like as well. But these are just some great ways to share great customer testimonials once you've responded to these reviews, or once you've actually gotten some great reviews, which I know you all have those great 5-star reviews. If you could probably get 10 stars, I know you probably have them. You definitely want to make sure that you are using these social media sites to show those great reviews off. More importantly, everyone's not going to land on your review site, so you have to show that love and everywhere possible. So now that you have your customer testimonials out, you want to make sure that your bases are covered. So when I mean by your bases are covered, I mean your bio, your pages are set up, you have your number, you have everything like that set up for you, for your business, for success. Your bio should say volumes about your local business. And some bios are shorter than others. I'm not here to intimidate you, but what I want you to know is that you should have a bio that's going to stand out, that's going to be funny, that's going to speak to your audience. More importantly, that's going to tell your story in a unique way that no one else can. So Bowl and Barrel, they have locations in Dallas, Houston, and San Antonio. We're back with the cleanest balls in Texas. It's funny, it catches your attention, it's part of their brand, it's part of their business, it's their voice. So when you're thinking of a way to get engaged with your audiences, especially during these times where you're like, okay, people want to go out, people want to stay in, how can I make sure they're seeing my business fully for what it's worth? And remember, we're still in these organic stages of, building out your content strategy. So this is a great way to make sure that content strategy is sticking out from everybody else. Make sure that bio is personable. Make sure that you're getting the most out of your social media sites as well. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're adding relevant hashtags to increase discoverability of your brand. I wanted to add hashtags in. I'm going to talk about hashtags probably in every webinar that we do. I'm going to be honest. And the reason why I think they should be talked about is because they are equally important, if not even more important than you responding to reviews, you getting engaged with other people's content. Hashtags are going to make sure that you're being found, but also seen. But more importantly, you're being chosen and you're in these conversations as well. So one big thing you want to think about is you want to make sure you have branded hashtags, local hashtags, industry hashtags. So with Pinstack, they actually did something that I actually do love, and that's having branded hashtags. So this is just a great way to do so. So Pinstack, hashtag Pinstack Fun. Easy, simple, something that you're going to do, something that you're going to be experiencing when you go to this establishment. You're going to be having fun. And yes, they could have just done a simple hashtag fun, but where's the individuality in that? Where's the personality in that? So you definitely want to make sure you're doing something that's going to be personable, but also logical for your business. I also get this other question a lot. How do I create a hashtag? Where do I look for these for? I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's no way for you to actually look for these and figure things out. It's one of those things where you have to just look at different profiles and look for things like this. So a hashtag isn't that hard to come up with. You can easily take your business name, turn it into a hashtag. That's called a branded hashtag. If you don't have a branded hashtag yet, I encourage everyone to do that that's on this webinar. And you're like, how do we do that? Just simply take the name of your business and see if that works to make that into a hashtag. If it doesn't, try to shorten it. Try to add, Gerald Lanes, Houston, Texas, or ATX, but you want to abbreviate that as well. So really make sure that you experiment it, you have fun with these, but more importantly, really make sure that you have those branded hashtags in your profile. It's going to really help you out. More importantly, it's going to make you stand out as well. So I can't just talk about hashtags in a bio and not show them to you in action. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't help you out at all. So I love this hashtag. More importantly, I love how this is user-generated content as well. I also noticed that this person's not on Instagram, but you still want to give them credit as well. So Pinstack said, it's all smiles until it disappears. Only one more day to enjoy our 36-inch King Pin Pizza. And they did a few hashtags, and I love this. They did National Pizza Month. So being specific, but also being current with your hashtags as well. If you're a bowling alley, if you're a local business and you sell pizza, even if you don't sell pizza, but it's something that you love or it's relevant to you, put this hashtag in your captions, make it relevant to your business. Giant Pizza, thank God it's Friday, but also look, they're using that branded hashtag, hashtag Pinstack Fun. So really make sure you're using these different strategies, these different organic ways to stay engaged with your audience. More importantly, to make sure they're finding your business as well. So just another way to add some more discoverability, some more great hashtags to your business page. On Wednesdays, we throw pink. So unless you've been living under a rock, which I hope you haven't, Mean Girls, I think what they just celebrated their 10th or 15th anniversary, maybe their 20th. I could very well be wrong. Don't judge me, anyone. But their big line was on Wednesdays, we wear pink. And so if you have pink, if you do anything like that and you want to stay current, do something like this. That's easy, it's simple. It takes a few seconds to take a quick shot of this. And more importantly, it's something that you can easily fit into your content week after week. Whether you have a bowling league, whether it's a bowling bog that's pink, it's a great way to stay in tune with your customers. More importantly, to help you stay top of mind as well. So just some easy tips and tricks to help with these hashtags, because I know it's a whirlwind of them, but at the same time, you want to make sure you're using the right ones to stay engaged too. All right, so personalize your brand again. This is just some different ways that you can really make sure you're leaning into that brand voice. Again, you want to make sure you're using your brand all the way throughout your profile, your business page. So I know we don't talk about Twitter enough, but we're going to. So King's Dining and Entertainment, they have locations in Florida, Massachusetts, Tennessee, Illinois, North Carolina. So in order to make sure that this profile is standing out, you want to make sure they're consistent across your three social media pages: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, really making sure they're standing out. More importantly, really making sure you're being consistent with your brand and that brand voice. So if you look at this business, you'll see the logos across all their social media sites. More importantly, when you look at this cover photo on their Twitter page, there will be different on their Facebook as well. You can change that out, but you definitely want to make sure that your cover photo is going to highlight your business, the outside, the inside, maybe your customers, maybe some specials you're trying to run as well. But really make sure your brand speaks volumes of your business. More importantly, it says something about you as well. So if you're looking at memes and you want to make sure you're personalizing your brand, this is just a great way to do so. This meme has been going a while now. And it's either with Drake or it's with the lady, I forget what she tried. I forgot what drink it was, but she gave her commentary on it. And it's a lady that's like, or it's like the face she makes is just not good. So with this one, they said watching the game at home, but watching the game at King's, now that's a different story. And as you can see, they get engagement. They're saying the buffalo chicken wontons for sure. Easy things like that. And you're not going to post just for the sake of posting. King's Dining and Entertainment didn't do that. They're looking to seek that engagement. So make sure that you're not just here just for the likes. You're here to also make sure that people are responding and engaging with your content as well. So provide excellent social customer care. When I think about social customer care, I think about, you think about customer service, you think about groups that are helping your team respond to reviews possibly. But I also think about three things that you could be doing. You can be preemptive, you can be proactive, and you can also be reactive. And great ways that you can just provide social customer care, like for instance, high five, Black Friday is right around the corner and we have some specials you don't want to miss. Be proactive, be preemptive about these things. We already know that Black Friday passed. Cyber Monday was just yesterday, today's Tuesday. So you definitely want to make sure if you have any holiday specials going on, you're getting it in front of your customers ahead of time, not the actual day it's supposed to happen. Do this a few days before and then remind them of the day before and the day of. But really make sure you're mixing up your content and you're putting it in different spots. So to provide excellent social customer care, you can't just do it on one site. It has to be spread across your different social media sites as well. And these are just some great ways to make sure that you're engaging with your customers, but also being reactive as well. So you're always one bite away from the best part of your day at Gampers. Gampers Food, Liquor, and Bowling. They said, order the ribs on the 11th for my birthday. Amazing as always. Thanks, Gampers. Nothing beats birthday ribs, Josh. So glad you enjoyed them. Easy, simple, and a different way for you to connect with your audience members as well. So just some great strategies to make sure that you're getting the most out of your organic content strategy. In a little bit, we're going to look at what that looks like for your advertising strategy as well, when you're putting some dollars and cents behind that as well. So we're going to be kicking off our second section. One of my favorite things to actually talk about right now in this current climate and when we're trying to get engaged with our customers, but more importantly, to really, really make sure we're getting connected with them. You know, we're not on social media, like I said, just for the sake of posting. We're on social media to really make sure we're getting engaged with our audience, because your audience is right where you need them. That's in the palm of your hand, that's on their cell phone. So if you're looking to say, I want to build a bigger audience, you might want to think about, how can I build a bigger community? And a way to build a bigger community, if I can talk today, is using video content. It's a great way to connect. It's easy for them to digest. And more importantly, it's fun and it puts you in the forefront of content as well. So you're probably thinking, what can bowling alleys, skating rinks, entertainment centers, what can we actually do to use video content, and how can we actually use that to stand out? So this is from Playland Skate Center. They're actually here in Austin. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I think I remember the first time I actually bowled, I was horrible. I still am horrible, but it's a great game to go do. It's fun. It's a great form of exercise as well. And it also brings out the competitive side in you. If you're normally not a competitive person, bowling will bring that out in you. Some things that I think about when it comes to bowling is, you know, am I bowling right? Do I need to line up myself up better? You know, do I need to take some deep breaths? Do I need to relax? These are things that sometimes you may not think, oh, it goes through my customers' heads, but it actually does. Especially if you're me, you go in, you're like, all right, I'm not a great bowler, but I want to get better. How can I actually improve? If you have someone on your staff or somebody that comes to visit your center quite often, they're really good at it, ask them if you can take some time out of their day, you know, set up some videos of them actually bowling to get some good techniques down. Maybe, you know, that's beginners, maybe that's middle, maybe that's intermediate or advanced. You know, these types of educational videos actually do help. More importantly, it actually helps your customers feel more comfortable with even coming in. Because I know some people that are like, I do not like bowling. And I'm like, well, is it because you don't know how to, or you just don't like it? They're like, I just don't know how to, I'm not that great at it. So doing videos like these, you're thinking, it'll take me a minute. They really won't. If you have some downtime and you go on Amazon, order this little tripod to set up for yourself, and you're in your bowling alley, you have some free time, take some videos of yourself, of you actually doing some bowling techniques, or you setting yourself up for success, or maybe some first-time bowlers. Easy video to produce, easy way for you to get those first-time customers as well, and also to make them feel comfortable. Now, another video that you can do, and when I think about this, I think about especially the holidays. How many of us are doing gift cards? Maybe we're doing birthday parties or get-togethers in our businesses, but of course, socially distanced, things like that. You can raise your hand, you know, let us know if you're doing these types of things for your local business in the chat box, but it never hurts to shell out a product or service video. And I'm not talking about, you know, selling online, I'm talking about socially selling. You know, if you're looking for a great gift and you want them to go local, hope all of you celebrated Local Business Saturday, Small Business Saturday as well. Make sure you're putting these things into your social media content. If you have gift cards, make sure that people know that you have them available and they can buy those online or come into your business and get those. Really making sure you're setting yourself up for success, not only for 2020, you know, ending the year, but also ushering into that new 2021 as well. So really making sure you're setting yourself up for success. Company videos. When I think about company videos, I also think about the form of content that we put out, as far as, you know, introducing yourself, whether that's me, whether that's Kelly, whether that's John. You know, you might do a day in the life or a staff spotlight. Take those types of content ideas and put them towards the video. You know, have a person do a Q&A, 15 questions with Jeffrey. You know, get a camera right in front of them and just say, 1, 2, 3, go. And, you know, they can laugh, they can mess up. That makes an actual fun video. People want to see those bloopers. And then you can also do explainer videos, frequently asked questions, customer testimonials, and how-to videos as well. But one thing that you really want to lean into is really look at how to create an IGTV series. How many of us have actually looked at an IGTV series, whether that's for our business or for another local business? You definitely want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success in using these types of videos, type of content for your local business. It's going to help you stay top of mind. More importantly, it's going to give you different things to do and keep your audience engaged as well. it's gonna really make them be more engaged than they are with your stagnant content versus video content. And your video content is just gonna be digestible, it's gonna be easier, and it's gonna be a great way for them to also make sure they're part of your brand as well. So somebody asks us, what is that IGTV? So IGTV is Instagram television. So when you think about Instagram television, you can easily set this up. It's going to be a little bit longer than your Instagram stories, which we're on right now. And what this is, you can do series. So you can do a day in the life of Tom, our owner at the bowling alley, or you can do the day in the life of one of your employees. This is, like I said, IGTV is another great way that you can use on your Instagram profile as well to set up regular series. Bowling 101, bowling 102, how to get better at, bowling a strike. Never bowled a strike. No one judge me. But you definitely want to make sure that, you're using your profile as a whole, not just as one part. Instagram has a lot of great benefits to it. So you definitely want to make sure you're using it for what it's worth, just like your Instagram stories. Your Instagram stories should be used for sacredness, like things that are going to be really, really important for your local business, whether that's, Kids Sunday Fun Day all day or Cyber Week specials. Because when you look at it, people are spending more time on their Instagram stories versus in their actual feed. So you're thinking, well, nobody's really liking my posts. No one's, commenting on these things sometimes and getting a lot of traction. We're spending more time on Instagram stories now versus our actual content. So when you're thinking about posting something, make sure that it's, good content, of course, but when you're thinking about posting your Instagram stories, really make sure that you're saving the really good, juicy content for your Instagram stories. That's going to help you stand out. More importantly, it's going to help you create more digestible content that your users can really sink their teeth into. So I got a question from Yvonne. Hey, Yvonne, I'm glad you're back. I'm curious if you only have limited time for social media, suggestions on how to choose just one platform. This is a great question, y'all. And sometimes it's one of those things where you're like, I don't want to give up, platforms. Yvonne, the best advice I can give you is look at where you have your most followers, most importantly, the most engagement for your local business. If that's on Instagram, stay on Instagram. If it's on Facebook, stay on Facebook. But really look at your metrics and insights to determine what platform serves you the most. And what I mean is, if something's not serving you, if a platform's not doing well for you, or if this isn't giving you the most traction for what you want, don't use it. Only use things that are going to serve you in the best possible way. So really make sure that if a platform's not doing well for you, then maybe you shouldn't be on that platform. Really look at your metrics, your insights to determine what's going to be best for you, your community, and your local business. And hope that helps you, Yvonne. You definitely want to make sure that you're looking at your metrics and your insights to determine which platform you should be on. Awesome. And Amanda said you can also download Business Suite from Facebook, and it will post to both Instagram and Facebook at the same time if time is an issue. And Amanda, I definitely suggest, you can also go to Facebook and schedule posts as well automatically through the actual Facebook app. And if time is a big thing, I 100% encourage everyone to schedule posts. But if you do have that time, go in and manually, upload posts to your social media sites. That way you can make sure you're coming up with different hashtags, you're doing the captions differently. Because while it's a good idea to post everything to all your sites, you definitely want to make sure you're switching up your captions. You're making it more personable for that site as well. Alana asked, and I hope I said your name right. To coincide with this, what are your thoughts on sharing from one platform to another, IG to Facebook? So I think it's okay if you're strained for time, but sometimes it doesn't look good. So for instance, I saw a post, I think the other day, and it was an Instagram post on Twitter, and it doesn't look good. And the reason why I say it doesn't look good is because it'll have the caption and it'll have the link driving you to your Instagram page. So always go in and actually manually post to your social media profiles. It's better, it looks cleaner. And while that may take you a little bit more time, it will make your customers feel more engaged with your business if they're seeing an actual picture on Twitter versus just a caption and a link to something else. So Instagram highlights. Instagram highlights are really, really important to use. And it's where you can store a lot of great information without you having to repeat yourself. I'm going to be honest. I know y'all probably get asked a lot of questions, especially right now during COVID. You know, how many people can come in? Can we do birthday parties there? Do y'all serve food? What are your hours? And I know a lot of you probably get tired of repeating yourselves. It happens. The best advice I can give you to make sure you're cutting down on that, and oh yes, saving some time as well, is adding your highlights and using your highlights on your Instagram page. So right here in Penstack on their actual Instagram profile, you see fun, you see deals, strike, eat, and events. So they have different words up here like play, deal, strike, bite, and plan. So you can actually see the subtext of what they're talking about. But you really want to make sure you're using Instagram highlights, which Instagram highlights, this is just taking your Instagram stories and adding it to a more permanent place, because we all know Instagram stories only last for 24 hours. So you definitely want to make sure you're using your highlights to store information. If you have something that's going on, like a special or a seasonal special, put that right here. That way you're not using up your stories or your content to repost that. You can always direct your audience, hey, don't forget we have our winter specials right here in our Instagram highlights. And you know, use that every so often, like once a week, to let your customers know exactly what's going on. But in your highlights, this is what you can actually house. Like I said, happy hour specials, even great user-generated content that your customers have taken as well. Just really make sure you're using your profile as a whole and really making sure that you're using these great features like Instagram highlights as well. This is just going to save you time. More importantly, cut down a lot of that back and forth work for you as a business owner. Okay. Yvonne also said, we've only been utilizing Facebook. I really don't think we have the market penetration for the others. So we've never expanded our efforts to Twitter or Instagram. I don't know if we're missing the mark since we're the State Association of Market Audience Blended. Our Bowling Center members, I think you're good. You should definitely want to make sure that you're getting the most out of your platform, and that's great. So definitely make sure that you're utilizing it as a whole to get the most out of it. All right. So our third section today, grow your community through great customer service. So we already went over this poll, how many of you responded to your reviews, how many of you don't. A lot of you respond to your reviews, which I was very happy and very surprised by, to be honest. But responding to your reviews, y'all, it's so amazing, because think about this. You're not just responding just to the person, that left you a review, like Quadravius. You're responding to all the other customers that have actually left reviews, or, looking for a place to go bowl, to go eat, go take their family because they might have just moved into town. So definitely think about when you're responding to these reviews, it's not just about the person that left the review, it's about everyone else as well. This is where they're deciding whether to make a purchase decision with you, to buy a gift card from you, to have that birthday party with you. So definitely make sure you're responding to these reviews no matter what. So he left this review. He said, does not practice COVID-19 social distancing, nor do they enforce the policy. So this review already out the gate is a lot is going on right here. More importantly, you definitely want to make sure you're responding to negative reviews. And you can let us know in the chat box, how many of you are responding to your negative reviews? Or if you're not responding, you know how to take them offline, like simply saying, call us, send us an email, or let us know what we can do. You definitely want to make sure you're not just not responding to these negative reviews, whether that's you sending the person a private message, you calling them, or taking the review offline to get some more context. You definitely want to make sure that you're responding to these reviews, because that's really important. So you definitely want to make sure that you are responding to these reviews, and more importantly, that you're making sure that the customers are seeing great things as well. So the response from the owner: we have closed down every other table and use a low top versus a high top, which is 6 feet apart. So that way they know. We do value our guests, and we ask that they wear a mask, and we have signs everywhere in the center. And I've been to some establishments and they're like, if you're up, you're walking around, wear a mask. If you're down, or if you're eating and you're drinking, you don't have to have a mask on. But if you're up and you're doing things, please have that mask on, which of course, just do it, just follow the guidelines. They apologize that you felt uncomfortable, also about the bartender not wearing masks or gloves. So they're really leaning into this response. More importantly, they're making sure they're addressing the issue. Now, if you wanted to dive a little bit deeper, really make sure that you're not just responding to the review, you're adding that first name as well. So you definitely want to make sure. I love this. Lewis said, yes, had some good things come out of responding to negative reviews. Amanda, we usually respond and request them to email us. They usually do not. Amanda, I'm going to be honest. You know what? You're doing something else that other people are not even doing. So at least you're putting that foot forward, and you're responding to them. You're doing your job already. If they're not going to get back engaged with you, that's okay. You've already done something that a lot of businesses don't even do. So definitely make sure if they're not responding back, it's a-okay. As long as your customers can see that you took the initiative to get engaged with that customer. Hey, we see that this went wrong. You definitely want to make sure that we can take this offline, or discuss this at another time in another place. So definitely make sure you are responding to reviews. Ryan, so definitely hear about the negative COVID reviews if I can talk. Today, I apologize. You always want to make sure, even if it's a review that you might feel uncomfortable about, say, hey, this is my email, this is my phone number. If you wouldn't mind, I would definitely like to discuss this more over the phone or via email. If you're having a little bit more time or a little bit difficulty, take a breather, take a step back, and write it out of how you want to respond, and maybe get someone else to look over that as well. Like I said earlier, take some time to respond to these reviews. Just don't fly off the handle and respond. Always take some time. So engage with the positive reviews. You definitely want to make sure that when you're looking at these reviews online, you're not just looking at the negatives, you're also looking at the positive. More importantly, you're really leaning into the positive and you're engaging with them as well. So number one, Shayla, we know her name, we have it right in front of us. Went on a Saturday night and it wasn't crowded. I was impressed with how well they were taking precautions and sanitizing everything. The staff from the counter to the bar to the folks sanitizing the bowling stations were all very friendly. Shayla, right out the gate, John said her first name in the very first sentence, the very first word. So making it even more personable, making it like you're having a conversation, almost approachable, if you will. So glad to hear you enjoyed your time bowling with us. From the game to the safety precautions, hope to have you back again. Easy, simple, just a great way to make sure you're responding. More importantly, to make sure you're also getting engaged with those future customers as well. So this is a little bit longer of a review. 4 paragraphs, some great things to say about this local business. And one thing I hear sometimes, well, they left this long, review. Do I have to leave this long response? Don't leave a sentence. Please don't do that. Really make sure you are responding, but you're responding in a personable way. And I really like this one that Randy just said. He said, to combat COVID, we did a 4-minute video on Facebook showing how we clean. Yes, this is where video content comes in. Do a video, say something personable. If you're getting these reviews and you want to make sure you're addressing the masses, but also making sure that people see what you're doing up front, do a video, get on Facebook Live, Instagram Live. This is a time where people want to see more of your face on video versus just seeing a response. So this is a really great time to do so. So definitely make sure you're not afraid of being on camera. But if you are, get one of your employees and they can help you out as well. But definitely make sure that this is a time where people are really wanting to see more face and having more of that personal connection, like a Zoom call or Facebook Live or FaceTime. So when you're responding to this, I like this response back from the business owner. He said, our community. You don't want to say our audience or, our customers, our community is why we're here, Derek. So we're more than happy to do all that we can to ensure everyone is safe when they come to visit us. Thank you so much for your review of our place and our standards. And we'll be sure to let our team know that the work they're putting in to keep everyone safe is more than appreciated. Hope we can welcome you guys back sometime soon for another game. Until then, John. So you're thinking, they didn't write a long, detailed letter. They didn't have to. What they did was they condensed everything. They addressed the person in the first sentence. They made sure they're addressing these little points throughout the response. And more importantly, they said, hope we can welcome you guys back sometime soon. So definitely make sure you're leaving that open line of communication, addressing other people that might have been there, maybe staff members that were involved with their visit as well. So definitely making sure that you're leveling up when you're responding to these reviews and really engaging with the positive reviews. So our last section for the day, and then we'll be able to dive into some more questions as well. Foolproof your advertising strategy without breaking the bank. How many of us are actually using advertising right now for our local business? And you can, raise your hand, let us know in the chat box if you are using advertising currently right now or have our advertising strategy set up, but also answer our poll as well.
It's like you have an educated group here.
I know, I'm like 89% of you are already using social media advertising. That is amazing. 11% of you are not, which is A-okay. That's all good. So we're going to dive into some different ways to make sure that you have the best strategy in place. More importantly, you're getting the most out of this as well. Kelsey said, moving away from print to strictly organic and low cost boosted. So yes, love that, Kelsey. All right, so let's just see some different ways. So a couple of different ways three different ways I'm going to talk about this. Boosted posts and paid advertisements, and also influencer campaigns as well. And when I talk about influencer campaigns, I'm going to be honest, you don't have to shell out millions of dollars. We're not talking about the people that have millions of followers. What I'm talking about is your community influencers, your brand ambassadors. Maybe this is also another way for you to start a brand ambassador program as well. But let's go ahead and let's break it down for boosted posts and paid advertisements. So boosted posts and paid advertisements. Now, this is an example from Edible Arrangements, but I definitely want to show you the difference between your organic and then your boosted. So you always want to do something that is going to be colorful. It's going to have a great picture, a good caption, and a great call to action if you're doing the boosted post. And sometimes we just want to make sure our content is just being seen. How many of us are feeling that right now? We just want our content just to be seen. We're maybe getting a dip in engagement. Maybe it's not as high as we usually get before, but you definitely want to make sure that you're using these social media sites to the best of your ability. And one way to do that is to actually boost your post. Boost your post. So one way that we can do that is, of course, boosted posts. This costs little next to nothing. Same with your advertising. I'm going to be honest with y'all, you don't have to spend $500, $100 to get a big reach. It could cost as little as $5 just to get great reach. So this post reached 377 people. It made 463 impressions. Now, it was a good post to first boost, but I definitely want to make sure that, we're not here just to get likes. You're also here to create that engagement. That's the biggest thing of why you want to boost your post or why you're doing advertisements, is to see, people come into your business to do orders, to do catering, to book events, to buy gift cards. But your big thing is to also get some engagement as well. So when you're thinking about post to boost or to advertise, you definitely want to make sure that you're looking at events, specials, discounts, or promotions. So just like in this example right here, they're doing something to make sure that it's going to be something that's going to be good for their community, but also for their business as well. The big thing that I feel like we forget about is our call to action. And the biggest one is to book now, reserve now, take action, things like that. Some really big call to action words. Those are things that you really want to use. But the biggest thing is you really want to make sure you have a great graphic, but also make sure that you have good goals. Just like when we think about, oh, New Year's is coming up, we're all going to make those New Year's resolutions. I'm going to be honest, I'm probably not going to make any this year, just because I really have some great goals that I've been going after this entire year. So I want to make sure those goals are going to carry over to the next year. I'm going to level up those goals as well. So if you're thinking about New Year's resolutions for your business, that's great. But think about some goals that you can really accomplish on social media with your community in mind. If you want to say, hey, I want to get more engagement on my social media pages, how can your community help you get there? If you want to make sure that, okay, I want to see more people come in, for events, how can I help spread more organic or paid word of mouth to make sure that people know more about events that we're having at our business? Really make sure that you're setting those types of goals for your local business. So, so it kept on clicking. So some things that you want to think about your influencer campaign. So I think about this, and one influencer that comes to mind is Jess Kohler. She's based out of Austin, Texas. Um, she has 3 kids. She just got a new dog. You're probably thinking, who is this lady? She actually is a local influencer. She's a working mom, but she, of course, is like, I got to distract my kids during COVID. You know, they have to do something. So this is a great way where your brand ambassadors, your loyal customers, your influencers, this is where they come into play. Think about the parents that have been to your establishments. Think about the people that come into your business day in and day out with their kids, and they've been coming to you for years and years and years. Those are your influencers. Those are your brand ambassadors. And so I love this post that she did for Kalari Resorts. It's in Round Rock. And one thing that she did, she took some great photos, you know, throughout her experience there. But the thing of why you want to do an influencer campaign or a brand ambassador program is because this is your audience getting engaged with content that is about your brand, but it's not from your brand. It's somebody that they trust. It's a person just like them. It's a consumer. So think about it that way. The Amanda Ish Life have been tempted to book for the kids, definitely a new and closer option than Great Wolf, which we've been a million times. I've never been to Great Wolf. Another one, we're here as well. It's amazing. I'm jealous that you're only 15 minutes away. There was another post that they were talking about COVID, and she actually went into detail about everything they did and what kind of measurements they took into place. The other great thing, and I should have included this on this one, was Kalari Resorts actually responded back and said, hey, we see that, you know, you're concerned about, you know, COVID. We have some great things set in place to make sure that, you know, we're following guidelines and everything like that. And so definitely make sure that, you know, while she's posting this great content, she's not just doing this just because she possibly could get paid or it's a great partnership. She's doing this because, one, her kids loved it. 2, she enjoyed it as a parent. So definitely make sure that this is something that, you know, your audience members are going to sync up with as well. You don't want to partner with the wrong person and the message come off wrong either. So definitely make sure that your message is right on point. And the way to do that is to make sure you're looking at influencers or brand ambassadors that are going to fit these three things. So their reach, the size of their following. A person can have 1,400 people that follow them. They could have 3,000, 2 million. But at the same time, you want to make sure they're getting a lot of engagement. So really, really make sure that their reach, it could be a number, but look at their relationship with their customers as well, or their audience members, sorry. Relevancy. Does it fit your niche? Does it fit your business? You know, I wouldn't necessarily, you know, pull someone that's never really been bowling or doesn't like bowling to be a brand ambassador for my business. I'd want to pick someone maybe that's, you know, been to my business a few times. Their friends have come. I have a great relationship with them. You might think, oh, that's just a friend. Start with your friends that come to your business without you having to tell them to come to your business. Those are going to be your best people to advertise your business for you. And your relationship. The engagement has to be quality. Like I said, you can get 3,000 likes on a post, but is anyone engaging with that post? Are they commenting back? Are they saying things back to you? Is there that dialogue, that conversation going on? So definitely make sure that's at the forefront of your business as well. And when you want to understand everything, and I know sometimes it can be a little bit confusing, trust me, I study social media quite often and it changes all the time. The best way to understand your audience, to know your community, to better get in flow with them is to understand your metrics. So understanding your metrics is really important. More importantly, this goes across for all your social media sites. And I'm going to back up just a little bit. Cody said, does boosting your posts help greatly? It can and it cannot. And that's why I started with the organic strategy first, making sure you have that content strategy in place. If you don't have a strategy in place, if you're not consistent, you boosting posts and you doing advertising probably won't help because you don't have a strategy in place first. There's no consistency there, and there's nothing there for your customers to grab onto. So really make sure that you have something there first to build out, and then add some dollars and cents to, you know, that marketing strategy. Mark and Amanda asked the same question, but in different ways. So Mark asked, how do you find an influencer? Sorry, got tongue-tied. And then Amanda said, how do you find local ambassadors? I've thought about this in the past. I'm not sure where to start. How do you decide what kind of influencer fits with your brand? And I hope kind of what I talked about helps, and I'll back up just a little bit and I'll come back to these questions. So for instance, if I'm thinking of like a bowling alley or thinking of like an entertainment center, the first group of people I would look for and my customers would be parents, maybe babysitters, that come in with not a large group of kids, that'd be kind of weird, but a couple of kids consistently. Really make sure that you're looking at the customers that that come in consistently. More importantly, they bring in those groups. Those are going to be people that are going to spread your organic word of mouth for you. They're going to do the advertising for you. The other way to find your your brand ambassadors or influencers is, like we said earlier, making sure you're using that hashtag. If you use that hashtag consistently, you're seeing people use it consistently, get engaged with them. Hey, we'd love to use your pictures that you took at our bowling alley or our skating rink. Do you mind if we use them? That's user generated content, but that's a great way to start building up your ambassador program. And another thing, someone actually did this and I thought it was an excellent idea. If you already have bowling leagues set up in your business, look at some of those people that are very, very popular, that have a good social media following as well, and ask them to be brand ambassadors as well. It never hurts. It's something different. And more than likely, they're going to probably say yes. Not only are they in a bowling league, they're the top of their game, but they're probably popular in your center and around town as well. So you probably want to ask them to be a brand ambassador. Now, back to our insights. Your insights are going to be really important. With your social media sites, and this goes for your Facebook and your Twitter pages as well. They're not going to all be found in the same instance, but this is going to be the general idea of how you understand your insights, how to make them work for you, and really why understanding them are going to help you stay apart from other businesses. Set yourself apart, if I can think and talk today. So if you're on your Instagram page, which I hope you all have your cell phones out and you're looking at your different profiles, if you're on your Instagram page, click the 3 lines at the top of your business profile. Now, once you've done that, or you can press this tab right here that's going to say Insights. You're going to go to Insights. Then it's going to pull up these 2 tabs right here. The big thing that you're looking at for your insights is your audience. It doesn't matter if people unfollowed you. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. What matters is what's happening today in your current state and how people are getting engaged with you. The next thing you want to look at is your audience. Men, women. It gives you a good percentage of who's following you, who's not following you. The biggest thing that you're going to get from this, and you see I'm smiling, but I'm so excited about it, is this is where you're going to really find out your followers. I get this question a lot. Jeffrey, when do I post? How do I post for this type of business? If someone tells you, yes, for bowling alleys, you want to post on Wednesdays at 2:30 p.m. every Wednesday, and then on Friday at 1:30 p.m. Run far away. Run very far away. If someone tells you exact times to post for your business, it's just not true. They can give you a general sense of when to post. Anyone can. But you want to look at your social media sites. That's what's going to tell you when they're getting engaged with you the most. I know for my followers, my audience has probably changed since then. They're the most engaged with me from 9 a.m. till about 9 p.m. That's when my friends are sifting through. That's when they're looking at content. That's when they're the most engaged, which you're probably thinking, isn't that when we're all supposed to be working? Yes. People are constantly on their phones. It doesn't matter if it's lunch, breakfast, dinner. We're constantly on our phones. And more importantly, people sometimes have notifications, or they already have notifications on for Instagram or social media sites. So definitely make sure that you're posting content. It's going to be content that's going to be engaging. It's going to be content that's going to be thought-provoking. So you always want to make sure that you're going to monitor, you're going to test, you're going to optimize, you're going to organize. We're going to do all these things. It's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. And if it did, we'd all be super successful at social media. No questions about it. But some big things you want to think about is brand awareness. The way that people are looking at this is if they're in tune with your brand, if they're using your hashtags. So if you're looking at ways to figure out, am I getting engaged with my audience? Are they engaged with me? Brand awareness is key. Make sure people know about your brand. Customer satisfaction. Are we responding to those reviews? Are we engaging in the comments? Y'all, that's super important. That's how you know our customers are satisfied. That's how you know we're getting engaged with them. You want to gain new customers? You got to be where your customers are. That means you have to have an optimized page, mobilized sites, and everything needs to be in the palm of their hands. That's on their cell phone. And last but not least, that brand loyalty. People want to know that they can trust your brand. So start to use more user-generated content. Start to use more branded content for your local business. That's what's going to help you stand out. More importantly, that's what's going to help your customers stay more engaged with you and help you stay top of mind. I know we went through a lot today, and I'm sorry about being late, y'all. I do apologize. We first went over how to create that crave-worthy content on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We next went over how to use video content to connect with new and existing customers. And then we went over how to grow your community through great customer service. And last but not least, how to foolproof your advertising strategy without breaking the bank. So now I'm turning it over to all of you for your questions. I'm gonna actually stop my share so I can actually see your questions as well. Okay. So we do have a lot.
Hey, Jeffrey, before you start on the questions, I just want to remind everybody, if you posted a question in chat and it didn't get answered, there was a lot scrolled through there. I don't know how Jeffrey was able to keep track of as many as he did, but if he wasn't able to get to it, he probably didn't see it. Post it in the Q&A so it comes out.
And I'm going to start answering the questions in the Q&A. And thanks y'all for, the panelists just doing everything. Oh, Christine, we're about to get to these questions. Really quick, Allison asked one. I'm not familiar with exactly how hashtags work. Could we host an influencer type campaign that encourages our patrons to talk about how much they love our business and ask them to use a... Exactly, Allison. She knows what's going on. So I urge and encourage everyone to do kind of what Allison just typed out here. If you're kind of lost in how to get influencers or how to get those brand ambassadors, have people start using a hashtag. And also today is Giving Tuesday. So if you don't have a campaign where you're giving on Tuesdays, especially this Tuesday, today's actually National Giving Tuesday, start one. But one big way that you can do this, and even though it was Small Business Saturday last week, I encourage everyone to do that this Saturday. Use hashtag Small Business Saturday this weekend and have people use that hashtag and post and tag your business in that post as well. That's a really good one. But yes, so starting with some questions, we got 6 and we're gonna go over a little bit, which is, I hope is okay with everyone. So Mark, we have 2 Facebook accounts for Bowling Center and 1 account for the bar and restaurant. Should we merge them? Yes, merge them. We also have to always merge your accounts. You won't lose any followers or anything, but make sure you have 1 account if you have 1 location. If you have more than 1 location, have different accounts, but specify which location you have. When in doubt, merge. If you have more than that, then definitely do that as well. Amanda, our Instagram and Facebook have been steadily growing. Yes, since I took over them 3 years ago. She's doing the right thing, y'all. So I recently decided to try Twitter and LinkedIn. Okay, Twitter is an all out. You have to be on there constantly. LinkedIn is starting to change a little bit more. They just added, actually Twitter and LinkedIn just added stories. Just FYI, everyone. Just a little inside information. Also, a little heads up if you haven't noticed on Instagram, and I'll get back to your question, Amanda. Instagram just added guides. So, and hopefully if we do another webinar, I'll be able to show that to you as well. Guides is Guides. Let's say you're thinking about the holidays. I'm gonna get back to the question. Let's say you're thinking about the holidays and you want people to buy gift cards. You want people to, reserve spaces, for your socially distanced party, what have you. Create a guide on Instagram and that'll actually help people figure out how to actually maneuver and use your business's service and products the best way. I don't understand the platform and the slightest. What do you recommend for those first couple of boosts in terms of followership in these platforms? Amanda, with LinkedIn and Twitter, you're gonna have to be on those sites constantly. Twitter is one of the best sites known for people to get great customer service. And it's also one of those sites where you have to post and repost multiple times a day. And so maybe it's a site you wanna dip your toe into just a little bit, but really save all that energy for your other sites you're doing well on. For LinkedIn, it's more of those sites where you're connecting more with more professionals. And so that one I would leave just for, like, if you're doing a mixer for professionals, they want to learn maybe how to bowl better or different things like that. But really make it work for you and your local business, not for how you think it should work. Think of it how it should work for you and your business specifically. So Alana, when sharing customer photos, what is the proper way as far as... So Alana, ask for permission if it has children in them. Of course, always ask. But when in doubt, always ask. Never take photos, permissions, reviews without asking if you can repost. That's always the rule of thumb. Cody, you're doing the most. You're handling a lot of accounts. He said, I control social media for 4 different bowling centers while making the post similar to save. Okay. So Cody, you're on the right track. Create similar post, switch up the captions. That's going to save you a lot of time. You can use the same photo, switch up the captions. On Twitter and Instagram, I better be seeing some hashtags. On Facebook, maybe add in a blog link or a website link as well. That's going to be really helpful. But definitely make sure you're switching up the content. Just make it personable. Mallory, not always. What I do suggest is if you have your, I'm losing my mind, on your website at the bottom, make sure you have your social media icons there that will directly link people to your social media sites. And Ryan, will you try to run it?
I'm not sure that everybody can see the Q&A, so I'm not sure. So you might want to just make sure you read the question so everyone knows what you're.
Sorry about that. Mallory, do you recommend using or having your social media feed show up on your website? I don't, just because it's your website. It already has enough going on. You already want people to go there in the first place anyways. So really just make that website just all about what it is. Maybe booking reservations, parties, emails, subscribing to a newsletter, that's it. The more you put on there, the more difficult it gets for customers to go through, and it's less likely for them to keep on coming back to it. Ryan, we try to run ads on Facebook, but we never seem to have decent results. I'm thinking we're hitting the wrong market, but I'm not sure how to correct this. Ryan, you asked the right person. I hope you did. No, you did. The best way to do this is when you run your campaigns, run them for about a couple of weeks at first. And when you first do them, I'm going to be honest, Facebook is a great place to start running ads, but try Instagram. And when you're trying Instagram, try putting them in your stories if you can. Don't always put the ad or boost your post in the actual feed. Try using stories. If you have a lot of people that follow you and look at your stories, they're going to be seeing that content more versus in your actual news feed. And I hope that actually helps. And Mary. So Mary asked this last question. How do I get started on Instagram and Twitter? I've never used them. You said not to answer reviews right away. Why? So on Instagram and Twitter, if you download the apps, it'll walk you through the actual process of actually building out those platforms step by step. How to upload your profile picture, how to make sure you create a handle, all those great things. So it'll actually walk you through. The reason why I said don't respond to reviews right away is because you want to make sure that you're crafting the greatest response possible. Remember, we're not just responding for the sake of responding. We're responding for everyone that's looking at a business that they're trying to decide they want to do business with. So always make sure you're putting your best foot forward. You're not really doing any canned responses. You're doing personalized, great responses back to your reviews. And I actually hope that helps, Mary. I really do. And I think that was all of our questions.
I think you got them all, Jim.
I try.
Okay, and you only went over a couple of minutes, so thank you. All right. Oh, spoke too soon. I think another one just popped up.
Yes. Hey, keep them
coming.
Hey, Cody, good. And remember, whenever you're getting stuck and you're like, my ads aren't working, mix it up. Put it in your stories, because that's where most customers are looking at. While we're looking at your content in your feed, I'm looking at your stories more. So definitely make sure people like you have them in your stories as well.
All right. Well, Jeffrey, thank you once again for your time and your expertise. I hope this was as beneficial as the last one was. I'm sure it will. So again, thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for spending your time. Everybody, thanks for your time. I know it's really, it's very valuable. So hopefully you all get something out of this. And any parting words of wisdom before we go?
Just keep on doing what y'all love. You know, social media, it is tough, but if you keep on going after it, it's going to get easier. You're going to find your community. And again, if y'all have any questions, I'm here for y'all. Y'all have my email. I think if not, I'm going to drop it in the chat box right now. Any questions y'all have about social media, please reach out to me. here to answer any and every question. If it takes me a minute, I apologize. I will answer as soon as possible. But thank you, everyone. I do appreciate y'all.